learning goal of this lesson is to analyse how Nick Enright uses form and structure to shape meaning in a property of the clan. To give you some context about the play, Brian Joyce, the artistic director of Freewheels, Newcastle's professional theatre and education company, approached Nick Enright to write a play exploring the rape and murder of Lee, a 14-year-old girl. Lee had been raped and murdered during an underage party on Stockton Beach, just outside of Newcastle on the 3rd of November 1989. Both Joyce and Enright wanted to avoid dramatising the events of Lee's rape and murder. Instead, they wanted to create an event that was about a group of kids who were witnesses to a parallel sort of event. In doing this, the two men aimed to provide a safe forum where the young people of the Newcastle region could vent their grief, anger and shame. Joyce explained to Enright that this forum was desperately needed, saying, "You don't understand what's happened in this community as a result of that event. There's a whole group of 16 and 17-year-old kids who cannot speak to each other or to any adult about the issues that it raised for them. They've been so damaged by being participants in this experience, or witnesses, or through having a sister or brother who was in the class, at the party, or whatever, and it's become a taboo subject." The fact that his audience were teenagers influenced Enright's choice of form. A Property of the Clan is a one-act play consisting of 22 short scenes. One-act plays are generally quite short. The reviews of the original Freewheels production suggest that the play's runtime was 45 minutes, although later productions have been longer. Philip Rouse's 2013 production, for example, was about 90 minutes long. I believe Enright wrote a one-act play because there is a general view that teenagers have a limited attention span, so he wanted a form that could deliver his message quickly. Despite being an unusual form for a play, A Property of the Clan fits within Freytag's dramatic structure pyramid. There is a little exposition in Scene 1, which establishes the theme of prejudice and discrimination against women. Rico's return to Black Rock in Scene 2 is the play's inciting incident. It is his party where the rape and murder occurs, and throughout the play, Rico models misogyny. Jared's sexist language and attitudes towards women mimics Rico. I believe the play revolves around Jared's relationships with Rachel, his girlfriend, Diane, his mother, Jade, his sister, and Rico, his mate. The female characters challenge the patriarchal society and seek to reveal and make right the moral crimes in the play. In contrast, Rico promotes a masculine culture that permits violence and conspires to protect the members of the clan. Because of his desire for Rico's acceptance and friendship, Jared behaves in a sexist manner, resulting in conflicts between him and the female characters. The climax of the play occurs in Scene 18, when Rico reveals that he murdered Tracy. Earlier in Scene 15, Jared challenges Rico about his attitudes towards women. There is a sense that deep down, Jared has always known that Rico's treatment of women is wrong, and he wants to have positive relationships with the females in his life. From Scene 18, the audience hopes that Jared will begin shedding some of his dysfunctional notions about women. Enright leaves the audience with this hope in the play's open-ended resolution, Jared approaching Tracy's grave with flowers. A Property of the Clan was structured to allow it to be easily performed at different venues. In an interview with David Jobling, Nick Enright revealed that the play was a very simple theatre and education play for 4 actors and no scenery. Because no set was needed, the production could be performed anywhere. This was important as Freewheels wanted to perform A Property of the Clan at schools across the Newcastle region. Having one actor playing the roles of Rico and Glenn challenges each audience member to question their own perceptions of masculinity. Enright recommended that 4 actors perform the play, which means 3 of the actors play multiple roles, including the doubling of Rico and Glenn. These 2 characters are polar opposites, representing different versions of masculinity. The most significant difference between the 2 characters is their attitudes towards women. Rico has no female friends, viewing women as sexual objects, spunk buckets. In contrast, Glenn has a close friendship with Rachel and views women as equals. Having one actor play both Rico and Glenn highlights the differences between the 2 characters, challenging the individuals in the audience to compare the contrasting depictions of masculinity against their own understanding of what it means to be a man. The play's structure reflects the continual issue of misogyny in Australian society. In scene 14, Rachel angrily states, "This stuff goes on all the time." Enright represents this continuity in his structure through repetitions. The actions in scene 1, 4, and 20 are almost identical. Each scene involves a report on prejudice and discrimination, suggesting that the mistreatment of women is a continual aspect of our culture rather than Tracy's rape and murder being a one-off event. Enright's decision to make Tracy an off-stage character heightens the drama of the play. Her absence is palpable. Because the audience never see Tracy or hear her voice, they imagine her in their own context, and consequently, they identify and empathise more with her. This makes the event of her rape and murder more provoking and unsettling. Alternatively, you could also view Tracy's absence as symbolic for the invisibility of women in a patriarchal society. Either way, her absence heightens the tension in the play. Enright and Joyce wanted a property of the clan to provoke discussion, and this is reflected in the structure of the play as well. Most of the time, there are two characters on stage, creating a series of duologues. As such, Enright conveys the young characters dealing with the rape and murder in different ways. The social codes that prevent the males from talking, and the frustration of the females trapped in a patriarchal society. The structure of having two characters on stage means that there is a conversation constantly occurring, a conversation that Enright wants the audience members to continue at the play's conclusion. And that's it. You've made it. To recap the main points of the lesson, I analysed how Nick Enright employed form and structure to shape meaning in a property of the clan. The intended audience and purpose of the play heavily influenced the form, a one-act play, and the structure. Nick Enright suggested that the same character play both Ricker and Glenn, and this use of structure challenges the viewer to question their own perceptions of masculinity. Enright also employs repetition to reflect that misogyny is a continual issue in Australian society. The absence of Tracy heightens the drama in the play, and the regular placement of two characters on stage reflects the discussion that Enright and Joyce wanted their young audience to be involved in. The final thing I want to provide is a synopsis of every scene in the play. Thank you so much for watching.